Money, 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 money. A lot of you are asking about the allowance or the money that you'll receive from the Global Career Scholarship Program. And in this video, I'll be explaining to you how much you'll probably be receiving if you got selected for the Global Career Scholarship Program, what are the expected expenses, and the big question, is it enough to live here in South Korea? Hello everyone, this is Justin. I am a GKS scholar back in 2021. I've completed my master's in 2024 and now living here in South Korea. Let's start with a big question. Is the GKS money enough? And straightforward answer, it's just enough. The goal for the allowance is for you to survive and to use that money while you're studying in South Korea. So in the context of studying or being a student, it's just enough. But I know a lot of you are trying to maximize the opportunity. I am already in South Korea, why not enjoy? I'm already in South Korea, why not do the things I want to do? Unfortunately, the money from the allowance cannot support those things. The money from the allowance is intended for you to use for your studies. If you want to buy some books, you want to print something, the money given by the Korean government is enough for those. However, if you're, for example, thinking of buying a laptop, a new phone, things that are not necessary when it comes to the actual act of studying, the allowance will not be enough for you. For the Global Career Scholarship Program, they're given, during my time, it's like 1 million Korean won. But now I think they increase it to 1.1 or 1.2. It depends on specific factors. But let's just stick to 1 million Korean won, and that's our basis for this video. So, you have a 1 million Korean won per month. Usually that's not the take-home pay. And let's consider taxes or your expenses. So, what are your expenses? Housing is the biggest expense. Usually it gets at least 30 to 40% of your allowance. So, in the context of 1 million Korean won, you have to pay 300,000 to 400,000 Korean won on a monthly basis for your dormitory, goshwon, and even for one room, it can go up to 700,000 Korean won. Again, in the context of dormitory, since you're a student, let's stick with 400,000 Korean won. That's the safest. So 400,000 Korean won, minusing, deducting that from the 1 million, you're left with 600,000. And probably you're thinking, 600,000 Korean won. How will I be able to spend that for the whole month? Don't forget your medical insurance. You have to pay for it. Don't forget your transportation fee if you're traveling from one place to another. Don't forget about your SIM plans. So let's put miscellaneous for around 50,000 Korean won. That's for your phone plan, transpo. So what's left is at least 550,000 Korean won. Then I'll deduct the health insurance. Probably you'll wonder why you have to pay for the medical insurance because again, you're living in South Korea, that's mandated by law. So at least you're gonna be paying, let's also be very conservative with our conversion, at least 100,000 Korean won for the medical insurance. So now you're left with 450,000 Korean won. Now let's do the daily things that you want to eat. So food here in South Korea, specifically in Seoul, is very expensive. Like a one meal lunch here in Seoul, 10,000 Korean won is the ideal. But in universities, they have the 1,000 Korean won lunch. So you can capitalize on those things. So to be honest, a lot of scholars actually find it very difficult to budget their money. It's not that it's hard to budget, it's just that it's just enough. Like one hospital bill can actually destroy your savings. Like for example, you want to buy some glasses for your studies because you need reading glasses. That will automatically dent your savings. So it's important for you to go to South Korea with at least savings with you just in case. So when I went to South Korea back in 2021, I brought at least 300,000, no, 300 USD. That was my foundational money. Meaning, when I arrived here, that's what I carried. Because again, if you arrived in South Korea, you'll not be receiving immediately your money, although you're already covered by the allowance, but it will come at least 3 weeks or 2 weeks after your arrival date because you need to process a lot of things. Your bank account, your ARC, these things are very important. It takes a lot of time. So, in terms of your money, again, I'm going back. You have 450,000 Korean won left. That's for food. So it depends on how you eat, but you can survive for like convenience store and such. But again, there's no room to enjoy. There's no room to have a trip to Busan or a trip to Jeju. It's not possible unless you'll save a lot or find part-time jobs, which is possible if you're on your graduate studies or your undergraduate's degree program already. You can do part-time jobs. But then again, this video is focused on the allowance. And as I've been mentioning, if you're thinking about how sufficient the 1 million Korean won for your studies, it's barely enough. So that's the answer. It's barely enough. There's no excess for it that you could. Some people were even able to send money in their home country, and I salute you for that. I tried doing that, but it's so difficult. It affected my health because every time I send money to the Philippines, there's an adverse effect in terms of what I eat. That's what's happening, and that's what happened. So again, the money is just for you to survive here in South Korea. So what are the things that you can do to save money or to probably budget your money? Well, the usual thing people do is they stay in Goshiwon to minimize the fixed costs, the fixed expenses. The housing is a fixed expense as you pay it regularly. So some people would go to Goshiwon and just pay 150,000 to 200,000. At least 20% of their allowance is going to that fixed cost. That has helped them save money. Some people would also choose the cheaper version of mobile plans. Some would get at least 10,000 Korean won as opposed to 40,000 Korean won just to save money. Each money saved goes to your savings and probably be able to help you provide you that cushion in case you have some emergencies and such. Some people would buy bicycles so they can just go. They don't have to pay for bus tickets or train tickets, just go back and forth to school using bike. That's also possible. Of course, you have to shell out some money buying bikes, but again, in the long run, it will help you stay healthy and save some money. There's so many things you can do. And last tip I would like to suggest if you're planning to save money in South Korea is to cook. Unfortunately, this is not applicable to everyone, but cooking can help you save money because it's cheaper to buy things in bulk. Just prepare them. Because cooking gives you the liberty to be creative with your food, right? But again, the problem is some schools don't have dormitories with kitchen. Some of them would just have dorm and there's no kitchen. So those are the things that you have to consider. There's so many things that will not be going to the plans of the students, like such no kitchen, very expensive cafeteria, expensive dormitory. But bottom line is, the money given to you by the Korean government, the investment given to you by the Korean government, is for you to spend while you're studying. So don't focus on the leisure, don't focus on traveling, don't focus on even skincare. These things should not be your focus. And I'll just be brutally honest with you. It's hard to do that, but that's how it works. You need to prioritize your studies. Prioritize your books. Even a laptop, it's not required, but again, in today's age, digitalization, not having a good laptop is actually detrimental to your studies. Some people would argue that iPads would be okay or tablets would be okay, but again, Laptops are very important these past few years because of, again, presentation skills, your research, these things. You really heavily depend on your laptop for that. So I highly suggest having a powerful one that would last you 3, 4, 5 years, which I was able to do with the help of some of my part-time jobs. In the next video, I'll share with you some of the part-time jobs I did when I was a student. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are boring, but in the end of the day, they helped me survive and buy the things I needed here in South Korea. If you want to ask more questions about living in South Korea, life of a scholar, how to get the scholarship, things about the Global Career Scholarship Program, feel free to comment in the comment section. I'll be replying there. And till the next video. Bye bye.